Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today we're doing another reviews and ratings episode where I review and rate all the different games that are new to me that I've been playing the past couple weeks with friends, family, and even solo. I've got 6 games that I'm going to be talking about today, and luckily all of these games are decent games. There aren't any games on this list that I would say I disliked. There are a couple that I just think are a little bit average, and then there are a couple above average. And yeah, I've just got 6 of them. I'm going to do a quick review of all of them. So let's get going from my least favorite to my favorite. We are starting with a game that is very similar to a game that I reviewed last week or a couple weeks ago here, and that game is Sky Towers. It's very similar to a game that I reviewed a little bit ago called 5 Towers. Now, in Sky Towers, you're going to be building out these towers in front of yourself, and you are trying to put a bunch of different kites on these towers, and eventually you want them to add up to 21 total. Now, the rules of placing these towers is you can place a tower onto one of your towers, no restriction. You don't have to go, to least to high or high to least lower in that, but you cannot place a tower number of a tower to your right or left that has that particular number on top. So if your neighbor's tower that's closest to you on the left side has a 3 on that, you can't put a 3 on your tower. And, you can't place a 5 if your other neighbor's got a 5 on top of their tower. So, you have to, there's restrictions in that. Also, all of the numbers have sort of a special ability. And I'll get into that in a little bit here. But so you're placing these cards and doing basically whatever their sort of special ability. They all have just a little tiny special ability for each of these numbers. Now, like I said, you're trying to get all these kites on. If you get a tower that is exactly 21, you get to take all those, and those are going to be points at the end of that game. There are also bonuses that you can get. When you complete a bonus, there's like bonuses like if you have a tower of all 7. So if you have 3 7, it's 21, you get to take that bonus card. But if someone completes that bonus after you, they get to take that bonus card. And so the game is going to get a 6.5 from myself. And I enjoy the game, but there are a couple things that I'm kind of nitpicking on. One is that none of the cards that you're playing actually show the special ability of that number. So there is all these number cards in the middle, and everybody can see what the special abilities are, but they're not even there's no symbology on the cards to tell you what that card's special ability is. So you're placing out a 5, and you're like, okay, what is that 5 special abilities? And you have to go look at these. Not a huge deal, but I wish there was some symbology on them. And second is the bonus cards for them. I hate that you get to take someone else's bonus card. If you complete it first, I wish you could just take that. That's yours. But now it's like a race to second to finish these bonuses. Like, oh, you finished that? I'm not going to finish that until you finish it. And they're like, I'm not going to finish until you finish it. So you're both just kind of waiting for that person to finish it so that you can finish yours to take that. And sometimes nobody's going to take it because nobody wants to finish it so that they won't get their bonus stolen from them. I don't like that. But the actual game itself, I enjoyed. It's a fast little game. It's not too difficult. It's a nice family weight card game. So 6.5 for Sky Towers. Going to the next one. The next one is Vamp on the Batwalk. This is a trick-taking game, but in this game there is a couple little mechanisms that they've thrown in here. First, they use the mechanism like Nabi, where your hand of card is facing everybody else, so everybody else can see the number cards that you have, and you can see everybody else's, but you cannot see your own. So you don't know exactly what cards you have. You know which suits they are because the backs are still colored, whatever the colored suit is. So you know which color that is, and then you can try to deduce what that card is by seeing what everybody else has. But not all the cards are used every single round. So you're like, this card is either like the 1 or the 4, or maybe it's this special card. And in this game, there is sort of a rock, paper, scissors mechanism where there's different symbols, and like this symbol will beat this symbol, but that symbol will beat this symbol, and that symbol will beat this symbol. But there are also numbered cards as well. And if you play a numbered card on top of another numbered card that is not the same suit, the lead suit then becomes the suit that you just played. So there's a couple little twitches and things that they've changed about a regular trick-taking game. It's going to get a 6.5 from me because when I'm playing a trick-taking game, I don't think I don't really want to guess what number cards I have. Like I said, you can kind of deduce or guess between like a couple different numbers. Like this is either this card or that card. But when I'm playing a trick-taking game, I guess I would like to know exactly what I'm playing for that reason. But I mean, it's decent. It's not bad by any means. Still getting a 6.5. It's neat, the little mechanisms they've thrown in there. But I do wish I could just see my cards. But then, of course, that would change the whole game of this and make it not as unique as it is. So yeah, that's a 6.5 for Vamp on the Batwalk. Going to the next one. The next one is Nocturne. Nocturne is a beautiful tile game with bidding and auctioning and area control in it. And in this game, you're going to have the center area full of tiles. And these tiles you're trying to get through a bidding mechanism. And the tiles, a lot of them are sort of a set collection, have a set collection aspect to them. So you're going to have all these tokens with numbers on them. Everybody has the same amount of numbers and the same type of numbers. So on whoever's first player is going to pick one of these tiles and place their number on there. And that is their bid for that particular token. Now, everybody else has to outbid them or pass. If you try to outbid them, you're not bidding on that tile anymore. You have to bid on adjacent tiles orthogonally. So you're like, okay, you bid on this one a 3. I'm going to go up here and put the 5 up here to outbid them. And then you can just continue to try to outbid people, not on that tile, but on orthogonal tiles to win those. If everybody passes, you get that particular tile that your bid was on. And everybody else has the option of placing their bids that they placed out on this little sideboard. And the highest number on these sideboards get to draft tiles at the end of the round. So you're like, okay, I didn't win, but I got my 5 on this sideboard, which more than likely is going to give me the first pick out of these tiles that are on the sideboard. And there's just that set collection aspect to it. There are also bonuses and overall goals that you're trying to complete. When you win tiles, you're leaving your token there, flip down. And a lot of the tiles, the goals are going to be like, have the most control over a certain areas and stuff like that. So there's this area control aspect to the board as well. This one's going to get a 7. I enjoy quite a bit of this game. I enjoy like the bidding and then the sideboard. I enjoy the area control, the other goals for this. The only thing that I don't really like in this one is that the set collection is kind of just boring to me. It's just stuff that we've seen 1,000 times. So the set collection is so nuanced to me that I was just like, I wish there was something unique about the set collection aspect of it. But the other parts of it I really enjoyed. But the set collection was just kind of ho-hum to me, which brought it down a little bit, but it's still getting a 7 score, which is a good score. So 7 for Nocturne, which is a beautiful looking game as well. Next, we have a couple of little micro games in a row. First, we have the game Win, which is a re-implementation of the game Long Shot, the dice game, which was a re-implementation of just Long Shot. Now, this is a horse racing game, but the game comes in just this pack, this small little pack that's this tall and this skinny, and there's just a bunch of little skinny cards on it. You're going to have your horses, you're going to have your players that are going to be bidding on horses, and each round you're going to flip over these cards, and these cards are going to determine which horses are going to move and how many times they're going to move. Then each player gets to take actions like bidding on certain horses or moving certain horses, or, there's a couple different actions. When you take an action, though, you have to flip over one of these cards that, that move the horses at the beginning of the round. And so that makes each action worse and worse and worse throughout that round, because when you choose, like, say the move horse action, say you choose horse number 2, you want to move that horse. You move that horse however many spots that number 2 horse is on these 4 cards. So you're going to flip over one of these cards. So now you're going to take away some of the other options in this and make the options less appealing and less powerful throughout the rest of the round. This one is going to get a 7.5. This is amazing mechanically of how they put such a huge game in this small little pack of cards. It is extremely impressive to me. It might be the biggest game that I've ever played in such a small package. It's going to get a 7.5 because it is a little bit fiddly because you're moving these tiny little cards on there. It's one of those games where I'm like, I kind of wish they just would have made a bigger game, but then that would have just been Long Shot the Dice game, which Long Shot the Dice game isn't a huge package. It comes in like a box like this big. So they made it even smaller, but there's not like a whole lot less game than there is in Long Shot the Dice game, though I would just much rather play Long Shot the Dice game. But this is very impressive what they've done with such a small pack of cards. 7.5 for win. Going to our next little micro game. This is Doom Machine. This was a game that came out a few years ago, and my friend actually bought the print and play version of it and printed it out, laminated some stuff, and then she's like, hey, you want to try this game? So I brought it home, played it, solo game. This is a dice worker placement game, and what you're trying to do is get through all of these machine parts to finally get to the Doom Machine part and destroy that. If you do that, you win. Throughout the game, you're going to be rolling these dice and placing these dice either on like your shield to block incoming attacks, or else placing them on the machine parts to do damage. All of the machine parts are going to take different types of dice to do damage to them. You're going to have to damage them several times each in order to destroy those machines. But when you do destroy them, you get the dice that is on them. If you don't destroy them, they get to activate after your turn, and they're going to be doing damage. They're going to be doing a couple different things. They're going to be shooting you, and you only have 10 health, and you have the shields to block those initial attacks on you, and they're going to be moving these dice down and activating whatever that special ability for that machine is. It's a very fun little game. This one's going to get a 7.5 as well. This sort of gives me the same feel of Under Falling Skies, where there are multiple things that you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to block these incoming attacks, but you're also trying to attack these machines to get rid of them, because after every single round, a new machine part comes into play, and that's just another thing that's going to be attacking you or doing different things. So you have to decide how you're going to fight this machine. You're rolling the dice, so obviously there's quite a bit of luck into there. There's a little bit of dice mitigation, not a ton in this game, but you're going to get more and more dice as the game goes on, as the more machines that you beat. But there is a lot of things that are happening, and I think this is a great game, a great little mini game. It's fantastic. So 7.5 for Doom Machine. And like I said, if you like Under Falling Skies, you might want to check this one out. This just gives me the same feel, but in a smaller package and a shorter time frame. Yeah, 7.5 Doom Machine. Going on to the last one. The last one is one of the most popular games that have ever come out for board games. That is Puerto Rico. This is a game where you are going to be drafting different characters that are going to give you special powers each round. You're going to draft the captain or whatever, and going to be doing whatever their special action is. And when you do it, when you pick that, you get to do that action, and everybody else gets to do that action as well. But you, as the person who picked that action, get sort of a little bonus for it. And what you're doing kind of in this game is you're going to be buying these different buildings, which are going to help you get special abilities. They're also going to get you a way to produce more resources. You're going to be selling these resources for money, which you can use that money to buy buildings, or else you can sell these resources for points, and the points, obviously you want points at the end of the game. So it's sort of this circular thing that continues going on. Going to get resources, sell them, buy more buildings, get more resources, sell them, get more points, get more money, get this, get that, and you're just kind of going back and forth and taking these roles, drafting these roles, and doing whatever those special abilities are on them. This one's going to get an 8 rating. I think this is a fantastic game. I get why it was so popular for years. There is that, the theme issue with the colonization, stuff like that, but I won't get into that part. But, I think it's a great game. I have not tried the newest version of Puerto Rico. This is the old school version of it. But I think it's great. It's going to get an 8 rating because I think it's a really good game, but it does feel a little bit of rinse and repeatish after a little bit. Like most games, you're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. This one kind of felt like a rinse and repeat a lot towards the end. I still thought it was really good. I thought it was fantastic. It's a good design, but it does get a little bit repetitive. But I didn't mind because I was having so much fun doing that repetitive motion of getting the resources, buying these new buildings to get more special abilities, to get more resources, to sell them for points, to get more money. And yeah, I really enjoyed Puerto Rico. It's one that's going to stay in my collection. There's a reason why it is a classic Euro style game. And yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. So 8 rating for Puerto Rico, and that is it for the games for this week. So make sure to comment down below. What are your thoughts on some of these games? Have you played them? Have you not? Do you agree with me? If do you not? If you don't, it doesn't really matter too much. It's just games. We're all just trying to have fun here. But if you didn't enjoy this video, though, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. Hope you all have an amazing day. Take care.